It's my pleasure to have the opportunity to interview Mr. Laurence Briggs, the President and CEO of Republic of Texas Brand, Inc., stock ticker LJWY. That's Lima, Juliet, Whiskey, Yankee. Welcome to our show, Mr. Briggs.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, I know it's always difficult for CEOs to... What's that?
Would you please call me Laurence? It's much better. I got used to that now. I can't remember when people call me Mr. Briggs. It makes me feel that little bit older, you know. Let's enjoy ourselves.
Absolutely, Laurence. That's definitely no problem, and I know exactly what you mean. How about if we get started and if you could provide a brief history of Legends, and we'll go from there.
Okay, well, we recently changed our name from Legends Foods. It was a very brief name. I took over as president and CEO of the company in early July. Previously, it had been a small operating company, and I'd been invited to join. I spent a few months organizing the strategy and then took it over in early July. So just recently, we rolled out our complete strategy and changed the name to Republic of Texas Foods. And we filed everything with FINRA to do that, and hopefully we'll get the final okay from them early next week, and have a symbol change within, I think it's 30 days after that. So basically it was an operating company with very little going on. We took it down to a 0-0, and we've gone out and private labeled a lot of absolutely fantastic products and developed this brand, Republic of Texas. And so now we have as the parent company the branding company, and we have one operating subsidiary, which is Republic of Texas Foods, which also has a merchandising line, so there's some apparel in there as well. And we're going live right now. Our first, we went live last week with one of our sites selling tamales, and that's doing quite nicely. And for a beginning, and we have our catalog company. It's an e-commerce catalog play in our food company, and our corporate gifts catalog has gone live. And over this weekend, we'll have our e-commerce site, which has nothing but absolutely fabulous Texas foods, and some apparel line as well, which is part of our merchandising. That's sort of basically been the last 5 months.
That's a lot in 5 months. The curiosity question: can you give me a little of your background and experience, and how you got to this avenue?
Sure. Well, as you can tell from my accent, I'm from the east part of Texas, only about another 5,000 miles. I'm very much an expat Brit, or was, although I've now been in Texas some 13 years, in the States over 20 years. So I guess I'm a one-generation Texan. I've been an entrepreneur all my life, having qualified as what they call a chartered accountant in England. I was a certified management accountant in '76, and lived in 4 countries and came to America 20-odd years ago, which is where I should have come in '76 when I first left England, but it took me time to realize that. I've run quite a number of companies. I've been a co-founder of about 14. Some have worked, some haven't. Been involved very much in medical robots, anti-terrorist bomb disposal robots, metal transformation businesses, a lot of varied stuff. But for the last 16 years, I ran a broker-dealer in the day trading business, and then about 6 years ago, I created a group of angel investors here in North Texas called the Investing Forum. Had a lot of fun with that. We invested in over 60 deals, and got kind of burned out. But above all, I just got really excited when I started getting involved with Jerry Grassafi in the company that was previously PRMX was the ticker, and I've been working with him now for 5 months doing this. So very much the serial entrepreneur, and definitely a foodie and a well-traveled guy. So I can add a lot to food.
I would have to concur with that. That was probably the most vast and diverse background that I've heard in all my interviews that I've done. I'm sure that brings a lot to the table in experience.
Oh, absolutely. It's been a lot of fun, I can tell you. And when you're doing a deal in the Middle East, and then the next day you're in France, and appreciating French food. And I used to live at in the area of France in the French Alps near Grenoble. And so I was regularly in Italy and France for lunch and dinner, and God, yeah, I've been very lucky, I must say. And I'm very lucky now because I'm in the great state of Texas.
I think Pat would concur with you. How do you explain to the general public what the Republic of Texas does?
Well, first of all, at the parent company level, we are very much a branding and marketing company. We do own this fabulous URL, www.republicoftexas.com, and that's our platform for leading off to the various activities. But the Republic of Texas brands, which is the same republicoftexasbrands.com, that's where you can see the strategy of the company. And as a stockholder or an investor in early stage companies, that's where you want to go to see what we're doing. We own this company, Republic of Texas Foods, which is an operating company. But on top of that, we own this fabulous brand, Republic of Texas, with this battle flag that is so beautiful. And our brand is just, it immediately creates emotion in people. They either say, I've seen it, or I want some of that. Where can I get that tote? Or where can I buy an apron like that? Or where can I buy those tomatillos? It's just wonderful to see, what happens. So very rapidly, we found ourselves negotiating a number of great licensing deals, whereby we won't be involved in the manufacturing. We'll do the branding and the marketing. And that involves such companies as a vodka line that we're working on right now. And we've identified a number of other companies, which are pretty evident if you look at our site or just think of consumer products where people are likely to be attracted by, the emotion that Republic of Texas brings, which is that sort of independence, in your eye. What Davy Crockett said, you can all go to hell because I'm going to Texas. It's really, there's something very emotional. And it doesn't matter where you come from in the world, It's even, Iranians, for example, they love Texas too. There's something about Texas that's just incredible. In fact, that should be the name of a TV show, There's Something About Texas. I'll have to recommend that to somebody. So anyway, there's two levels. Make it to branding level and an operations level of food and apparel.
Sounds like you just got your next business objective. And, speaking of that, can you go into your business objectives a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. We set aside the first 15 days of October to be our launch period of actually getting things rolling. And our real launch quarter is this quarter, from the 1st of October to Christmas, which is a great time to be selling products that are labeled, that people want to give as gifts. So our number one objective is, on the operating level, is to have a successful quarter this year and maybe sign a couple more licenses. It would be very nice to get a vodka or a Texas whiskey licensed, and I've got my eye on a very nice line of jeans that I think would take our brand very well. And we've been talking to someone about beer, so, let's throw that in. This might kind of sound like I'm a big party goer, but I'm not. I'm a hard-working guy like most of our team. But, there's some brands that just fit really nicely. And if you look at a company like Fossil Watches, which was started here in Dallas, their market cap today is $5.1 billion. And you go to their website and you look at our website and you can see very clearly where we're going. And they started off just, by putting faceplates on watches as one guy, and what a great success that company was. Well, I think when you have a brand, Republic of Texas, .com, and our brand is Republic of Texas, written in a certain very aged way with this beautiful battle flag, I think you can imagine where we can go. And I've got a great team behind me, working side by side. We all work very hard. We all believe in what we're doing. So, we're that energy that comes from feeling success and being associated with something, that pride that gives you that additional energy, that's just a fabulous place to be. So, we want to live this as long as possible and really enjoy this rollout and launch.
I bet it always interests me to no end to understand and to hear the stories of where an idea or a concept comes from. Can you elaborate on that at all regarding your company?
Yeah, well, running my the Investing Forum, one day I met this guy, Jerry Grassafi, and he said, look, I've got an idea. It sounds like it might be appropriate. Do you think I've got this public company, we do a little bit of business in this, what they were doing. And he said, and I've been wanting to buy this Texas barbecue company, and Texas barbecue is really big. I mean, anybody's eaten Texas barbecue and loves it. If you look at the big brands, they're all over the country now with 300 or 400 stores selling Texas-style barbecue. And so we looked at the deal, and it turned out to be really rather limiting. Just selling barbecue didn't seem to be quite enough. And then we found some hair on the deal that we didn't like at all. And so, once we started it, I started looking at other things and suggested to Jerry, look, why don't we add other Texas products? And in doing some research, I discovered that there were 2,000 food companies in Texas. And so with my lovely wife, Cher, we started going to look at some of these companies and tasting their foods. And we realized there are some absolutely fabulous artisanal, small company productions, fabulous foods that come out of Texas. And so I started discussions with the owners of these companies and very quickly brought in half a dozen and brought these in, and Jerry loved it. And one day we were driving down to the Hill Country to look at a company, and I said, look, let's start thinking about the name. And it just popped out. It was just, we should do something like this because we are going to represent a lot of fabulous, high upscale Texas food companies. So we did our research and found we could use the name, and then we researched the flag, and then we started sketching, the design, and I did the first sketch, and then Cher looked at it, and she said, well, what about if we change this? And then we had a great logo, and we gave it to a really, nice designer that we'd met, and we came up with this fantastic logo and brand. 5 weeks later, after 5 weeks negotiation, we acquired republicoftexas.com, and then we realized we were using a battle flag, and that's really important in the value of equity of our company as a branding company, because you cannot integrate in a trademark a state or a government flag, but you can integrate battle flag. So we now have our Republic of Texas with that battle flag. That is trademarked, it's ours, and only in combination with the republicoftexas.com URL, we have an extremely powerful brand, given all the emotion that comes behind it. So, that's really what we've been working on for the last few months, along with, signing up more companies as partners in rolling out this company.
This is very interesting, and let me tell you why. Clearly with all your business background over the many years, you have figured out a couple key pieces of this that a lot of companies don't. Your marketing, you have a strategic marketing plan, and you can tell that by the things that you're talking about with your brand, the things that people see, the image stuff, and that's a pretty big deal, and a lot of people don't understand that. Now, with that, what is your marketing, when you did your forecasting and your marketing, what is your targeted audience that you're bringing your products to?
Well, on the operations level, we're really aiming at the discerning, the sophisticated. If you want to go buy a chicken at Sam's Club and pay $6 for it and eat that every day of the week, go ahead and do it. But if you buy a chicken from us, it's garlic, it's got herbs inside it, it is succulent, it is the most beautiful, the most awesome chicken you have ever eaten. Better than your grandma's, better than my grandma's, better than French grandma's even. It is to die for, and it's cooked in the Hill Country, and we ship it out from there. It is unbelievable. Our honey glazed ham, you will not believe it. These guys we know from down in the Rio Grande, they've invented a machine that gets the honey down in between the slices. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but basically they spin it with the honey going in from the slices down at the bone and withdraw their device. It is just out of this world. So we've been looking for the most succulent, the most upscale, the best, classiest products that you can think of. And I know there's some great barbecues, there's some great burger joints in Texas. We're not the burger joint, I can tell you. And, we're really looking for the best. So discerning, sophisticated people, and I'm sure one of our number one products that we've already found in taking the corporate catalog to law firms that spend a lot of money on gifts around Christmas to their clients, our number one product is our Texas olive oil that comes from an estate in the Hill Country, 17 acres. We get a first press, and we have one of our two oils that's made solely for us. It's got a slightly different flavor, And we add to that Italian balsamics that are imported from Italy. And if you start a dinner party at home, if you guys do dinner parties, the nicest, one of the most wonderful things appreciated at our house, and we do a lot of dinner parties, is when we start off with a beautiful Texas olive oil and a nice Italian, maybe a fig or a peach or traditional balsamic vinegar, and a French baguette or Italian sweetbread. People stand and they're chatting away along with their aperitif or a glass of wine, and it just breaks down the atmosphere and people are really relaxed. It's a very sophisticated way to start a dinner party. And if you've given a gift of that to one of your customers, you've got a friend for life, because they're going to be using that. Typically, a nice sophisticated bottle of olive oil is going to be used for a year, not like a great bottle of wine. Normally after Christmas, within 5 days, you've forgotten who gives you what bottle. So, if somebody says, did you enjoy that bottle of Chateau Lafite? You say, oh, of course, it was fantastic. And what a great year. What have you really said? You're like a CPA, you haven't really said anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Whereas if you give someone something sophisticated like that, all of their friends are going to say, hey, that's awesome. I'll tell you the second incredible product that we have is a chef's coat with our logo on it, on the breast. And we embroider your individual name. And if you look in our catalog, you'll see every single guy that's seen the catalog says, I want one of those. But guys, when they're ordering, let's say you're an attorney or a firm, professional firm that sends out 40 or 50 of the same thing, typically they'll say, okay, I want 40 of those and deliver them on December the 8th. But for me individually, please make sure my wife knows that I want one of those. It's really fun to watch. And wait till barbecue season comes along. We have an apron along with a toque as well. The chef's coat has a toque with our flag on, and we have an apron with some great caps with our logo on as well. And what do you get for your birthday, guys? What do you get on Father's Day? You get socks, you get boxer shorts, and you get, a lot of people get silk ties. I have over 100 silk ties. I never wear ties anymore. So we've offered something incredible, which is this apron with Republic of Texas brand on it, together with a matching hat. I mean, how cool is it to walk out with the brand and basically you're saying, here I am, I'm a dude, or your wife is saying, you're my dude, wear that, honey. I mean, what a beautiful gift to get. I will talk all night long if you don't enjoy it, by the way.
Sounds really nice. I'm trying to figure out how I get to one of your dinner parties. That's my goal right now.
Are you the one who's in Texas right now, or is that one of the other guys?
No, that's actually Pat's in Texas, and I'm sure he's GPSing you as we speak.
Uh-huh. Well, we're in Dallas. We're based in Dallas.
Gotcha. Let's go into your rollout process of your products. You have a lot of different foods. It sounds like you're bringing in a lot of different things. Where are you at in the rollout process in your operation? How far along are you?
Well, we started the first e-commerce site was our Mama Rosa tamales. That started, we rolled that out last Monday. I think on Wednesday we rolled out the corporate catalog that people can download and look at. The actual online version where you can order online is coming, but we think for corporate gifts you really want to be working through a sales associate or an affiliate so that they can discuss the products with you and how it's to be delivered, how it's to be shipped. So that's pretty much on its way. The e-commerce site that will actually be the live republicoftexas.com site, you want to set your alarm clock for about 7 o'clock Saturday morning, get up, first thing you do, press the coffee, second thing you do, look at republicoftexas.com. So that will be live Saturday morning, as the Arabs say, inshallah, which means if Allah wills it, just thought I'd throw that in for a little bit, but it's really God be willing as well. Anyway, it's I think we've got everything right for our release on Saturday. But if the final tweaks that we're making on Friday don't all work because we test everything, then we'll just delay it a little bit. But I do expect it to be live over the weekend. So starting next week, you can order a peppered ham from the Hill Country. You can order olive oil from the Hill Country. You can order tomatillos from Dallas, but it all comes from us. And from the Red River up in the northeast part of Texas, we have some fabulous jalapeno jelly and candied jalapeno. Oh, my God. I could sit there and eat that stuff all night long. And, what else have we got? We have Inwood Wines from over in Lubbock. Dan Gatling, who's the owner-file there, he's been developing wines for 24 years. He's brought over this fabulous Tempranillo, incredible wines. so we're able to ship his wines as well. So in the process, we're rocking and rolling. By this time next week, orders will be going out every day. So we've been sending out orders already, shipments, as we've been receiving orders. And we've got our first orders from our corporate catalog, and we've had our first orders on the tamales. And I would think by over the weekend, I'll be willing to bet we get quite a few orders, actually, from all of my friends who are watching with passion, because every time we've done something special, we've invited 60, 70 people over for a party to celebrate the tamales or celebrate a barbecue or something like that, and everybody just loves the food. So last week we did our launch party of the food company. We had over 200 guests, and they're all waiting to see how they can buy the product, because we got them to taste it all, whether it was a jalapeno turkey or our beautiful chicken or the honey glazed ham, the wines as well. Dan Gatlin and his wife Rosemary, they kindly came with lots of these very, very good wines, and we had lots of confections as well. So, and we've got a number of other products that we'll be rolling out over the coming months. We got some nice surprises to keep it all fresh and keep everyone awake.
Well, congratulations on the launch. I mean, that's a huge milestone. There's no doubt about that.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
No problem. Earlier you mentioned that you were doing, when you started your whole process, you did the research, and, there's over 2,000 restaurants, different type of food type companies and those type of things. That's an enormous amount when you sit there and you look at it. And I'm sure based off your marketing plan, the things that you did, that you figured out how big the market that you're actually attacking is. I mean, how significant is this high-end food market that you're approaching here?
Well, we're selling the emotion that goes with the brand and high-quality products. But, the thought of Texas, I mean, my mum lives in the south of England. She's 84 years old. And if I say to her Texas, I don't know, she gets a tingle. I mean, it's just, Texas just does something to you. The Republic of Texas, Davy Crockett, I think there's a lot of people who will buy simply because of this brand, Republic of Texas. So it's difficult to say how big the market is for discerning sophisticated food. You've got chains like Whole Foods and Central Market and the like. They are in that same spot as well. But ours is kind of different because we're very much into the gift market. I've got friends all over the world, and the thought I can easily send them all a $100 gift or a $20 gift that's plastered Republic of Texas all over it. We have the Republic of Texas Company Store, the Republic of Texas Chocolate Factory. Whatever we're sending, it's very clear that it's unique and it's from Texas. So it's kind of thrilling to open a box and actually find Republic of Texas brand on it, or a shirt, and you go, oh, wow, that looks so cool, because this brand is so nice. So I don't really have a precise answer for you. We did do some forecast sales about 4 weeks ago, but they seem to be way off the mark in the light of everything that's happened, and our grand discovery that our flag was not a state flag, it was a brand, it was a battle flag. And I must credit our Chief Marketing Officer, Cher, for that. She discovered it on a Sunday doing some additional research, and I just automatically assumed that it was a state flag. Big mistake on my part, but it didn't matter. I mean, we finally got it right. So, how big is it?
Yeah,
I know all over the U.S. People would love to get a gift from Texas.
That's pretty fortunate and quite amazing, actually. I mean, especially your website name, your company name, and that. I mean, you clearly got a bunch of pieces that are kind of coming together to be this awesome brand, just like you're saying.
Yeah. And my wife's great grandpa was a Texas Ranger, and they still have his gun in the family. Sadly to say, with 7 notches, but hopefully they were all, deserved. I don't really know, but it's great fun doing research on Texas. It's really great to live here.
I bet, and it sounds. I mean, the passion that you have for this, that you're bringing the whole family into this entire thing, is got to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, it really is.
Do you have any? Well, that's good. Do you have any strategic alliances, or anything that you're working with from that aspect?
Yeah, we've got about a dozen partners who are the producers, and I'm working on probably about another half a dozen that we'll be adding probably over the next 12 weeks before Christmas, because there's a lot of really good stuff that we just didn't get a chance to do deals with, and there's a lot more that we're discovering. I don't think there's a day goes by where I don't get somebody call me and say, can I send you a sample of this? I've heard of what you're doing, and I'd love you to take a look at our line, and we'd private label it for you. So we look at a lot of stuff. Unfortunately, my stomach also looks at this stuff very closely because I can't resist tasting a lot of these fantastic foods. But I'm getting better. I'll taste it and then I'll move on. I don't keep going back to it for 15 days. So weight-wise, it's a bit of a problem when you're in a food business. But every day we get somebody coming in with something new and exciting. And we will be rolling out a gourmet Mexican line pretty soon. We already have 14 products for that. So that's going to be very exciting. But it means that we're constantly tasting food. And if you come into our showroom, it's just amazing. You see all this food laid out and these crates all with Republic of Texas company store or chocolate factory, whatever, that they're going to be shipped in, and you just feel that you're in some sort of international deli, but it's all about Texas. But wow, we really produce that in Texas. It's fabulous. And we're very lucky because there's a Texas line, there's a modern line, and then you've got the gourmet Mexican, the Tex-Mex. So we can pick and choose and group these things, and therefore you've got a clientele that's going to buy because they like peppered chocolates, for example, or spicy chocolates, and you've got a clientele that really doesn't like boring turkey. They want something unique. So, there's a number of different markets. But I think one of the big markets for us is really going to be the gift market, where you want someone to think of you. So you can send them some of our maple pecan coffee along with some of our, say, blueberry walnuts tea bread, and say, well, I thought of you, and so whilst you're drinking this coffee, would you please give me a call? We've got a number of ideas like that, and I think you'll see a lot of gifts going from us as we roll out our gift line.
This is very interesting what you're doing. Kind of let me get this out. Like you look at something like Starbucks, and they serve coffee just like a bunch of 100 different places, but they built an experience. And maybe I'm just kind of grasping here, but from what you're kind of describing is you're putting the products together and you're going worldly with it to a lot of different countries and all that. I mean, is that your big thing that you're targeting, is the experience with food?
I think the experience of actually seeing the logo with the specific unique delivery of the food, not in the way that we send it, the way we package it, and people get it and they get some sort of fun aspect out of it, plus the quality of what we're selling. Sure. And as we're going worldly, I mean, we're going to focus from an advertising perspective inside the US first of all. But it doesn't take long for people, for example, in Australia. I've got a friend who sells most of their products in Australia because one day an Australian landed on their website, ordered some of their stuff, bought it, loved it, and then started blogging about it in Australia. I mean, these things happen. So the Internet has really reduced the world enormously. So I think we, for our non-perishables, we'll be very quick to be sending stuff overseas. The perishables, most of them we can get, as long as we can get it there within 48 hours, and as long as it's not too hot. We just had this incredible summer of over 100 degrees almost every day since the early part of May until a couple of weeks ago. You obviously can't ship chocolates and tamales and frozen turkeys in that sort of weather, but we're finding ways of doing it by adding dry ice and stuff like that. So who knows, next year we may be shipping more frozen products throughout the summer. Who knows? But, there's definitely a seasonal effect to it. But we have lots of ideas of being able to level off the seasonal effect as well by developing programs that go a little bit like the Hallmark, something for every occasion. And I think there you'll see a lot of innovation from us. And that's where I get to have a lot of fun. I mean, I'm like a kid in the playground, honestly. But I'm playing with food and wine and T-shirts and caps and aprons and food. Back to food. Lots of food.
No, that's pretty
your
exciting.
Question.
Now, so beyond the products themselves, what are your long-term opportunities for the company's marketing that you plan?
I think you'll see a number of people identify their products with our brand, and something like jeans companies, obviously clothing, a watch line, a luggage line. Obviously, these are good consumables where you've got people willing to pay for a quality product with a quality brand. So in the long term, I think you'll see more and more products with our brand on it. And for stockholders, that will be tremendous, because what we'll seek to do is branding and marketing. So we'll license the brand, and using our republicoftexas.com platform, we'll be able to market the product as well. For example, jeans, rather than buy the jeans on our site, we'll have a page where you can go and find Republic of Texas jeans, which stores are carrying them, what their prices are, and then a link over to the manufacturers, but it will look like us. So from an investor point of view, I think the sky's the limit in terms of brands, what we can do. And you look at these companies like Ralph Lauren, for example. You've got rugby, polo, quite a few brands. You go to a website, just like ours, you'll be able to next week. We'll have 3 or 4 different nodes of business activity, like the Mama Rosa tamales, like the Republic of Texas Chocolate Factory, and you'll be able to click from one to the other and log out, all with everything in the same crate. Well, when it comes to selling something like jeans, that would just be marketing, so you won't be able to log out using those. But nevertheless, it's very difficult to forget republicoftexas.com. So we get this fantastic marketing campaign where we don't have to market every product, we don't have to market every line. What we have to do is market Republic of Texas and get people to come to republicoftexas.com. If they're sophisticated, discerning, they're going to find something that they want if they buy into the emotion that goes with Republic of Texas.
Exactly. I mean, that's you're just thinking about the different avenues. I mean, my brain's going crazy just thinking of the different things you can do, because you definitely have an incredible brand. With your vision and the direction that you're going, what do you see for the Republic of Texas over, say, the next 5 years?
Oh, golly. I think there will be tremendous growth. A lot of licensing deals, maybe 10, 20 licensing deals. The food company on its own could be very substantial. We've got a couple of other ideas that I think could be spin-offs. But honestly, I think what we want to do is just be very deliberate in what we do, make sure we get great growth, make sure we find the right team members, build out great supply chain management systems, and be a very solid company. I mentioned Fossil. I don't know. I think it's probably taken them about 25 years to get to where they're at, but they started in the pre-internet era. And I think, we have the advantage that we have the internet, marketing campaigns. Now you can do a lot of things that make you grow very fast for very little cost, or a marginal cost, or a cost that's a variable cost as a function of what you're selling. So if you're paying people, on the basis of what they're selling, it's really a case of just making sure you've got the right products and the right people, and you're marketing at the right time. So managing growth, I think, would be important.
With that piece, are you contemplating franchising in the future, or is that just a thought?
Yeah, a number of people have asked us that, and I honestly just don't know. The idea of a company store is very attractive, and we're already we're working with one of the major hotels. I don't know if you know, but Dallas has got a new hotel just opening, and they'll be having about 250,000 people a year going through there. Well, you come and visit Dallas, you want to take something Texan home to your wife or your kids. And I think they'll be able to buy one of our brands, and we are working on a store within a store, so that we would have a sort of a display that would have things like our chocolates and our nuts and T-shirts and things like that, and caps. So it's very easy for us to go in and put in a display module, and I think the tourists will really love it from what I've seen, showing it to various people that I know around the world. So I think you'll see a big gift market, a souvenir market, and then a quality product market.
That's a lot of different avenues. There's no doubt about that. Well, Laurence, I've spent a lot of time, kind of getting the big picture of where you were, your experience, and the different directions that you're going, and now the launch that you just had, being with a new concept, new company, and new products, and those type of things. because I wanted to paint the picture for investors to understand, where you are and your passion for, what you're doing and where you're going. But with that said, what do you think makes, Republic of Texas a good investment for potential investors?
Well, our stock price is way down low at the moment. It's it's just a little bit off what it was before there was anything in there. So I think investor awareness campaign is important. Programs like this, where we get very nice guys like yourselves asking us about the program and having listeners, asking us about the company. So that's important. I think when we go up on the QB, at the moment we've cleaned up this company that was a pink sheet company. We've got the audit of last fiscal year going in the next few days. We'll be filing an S10 pretty soon. And I would think by Christmas we'll move up to the QB. So any shareholders that we have at the moment or investors, they're going to see a lot more investors coming into the stock by about Christmas, hopefully a couple of weeks before, as we move up onto the OTC QB markets. And there you're in great company. I mean, we all see what's happened with the NASDAQ, and they're moving up and putting down all the entrepreneurial early stage companies have been sort of pushed out of NASDAQ. Do you remember NASDAQ way back in 87, 88? I mean, it was a different place. It's just not that anymore. The OTC market has taken over. It was a lot of fun. The OTC markets, whoever's running that these days, I think they're doing a great job. And there are sites like Investors Hub doing a great job too. And I think you'll see a lot of movement in our stock as we go on to the QB, and then I think you'll see a lot of movement in January, February, as we produce our first results. But as you can tell, I'm a very gregarious, open-minded kind of guy. I make sure I'm aware of the regulations. I actually ran a BD for about 16 years, so I understand compliance. And so I'm very careful. I make sure that everybody can understand what's going on, and then they can make a reasonable judgment, what they think of us. And they either buy our stock or they don't. But if you love the story, you buy our stock. One thing's for sure, we're not going to sit idly by just doing the same thing every day. There's lots of innovation and opportunity for innovation. But we also leave some opportunity, to really seize opportunity. But we do have a deliberate plan. And we have a good idea where we want to be 5 years from now, and hopefully it will be somewhere along the lines of say, a fossil, not necessarily their size, but hey, who knows? But certainly I think there's a lot of talent out there. We've got a great talented team at the moment, and we're rolling it out nicely. And talent attracts talent, success attracts success. So I think you'll see a lot more coming from us.
Well said, Laurence. Well, I've asked you a tremendous amount of questions and covered a lot of different aspects of the company. Is there anything I failed to ask you that you would like to touch upon?
Nope. I think just enjoy watching us, and if you want to buy some stock, by all means do. I think we've pretty much covered it. republicoftexas.com. That's where you want to go. And go to republicoftexasbrands.com if you want to know more about us. And I really want to thank you guys for giving me this opportunity. It really is it's a fabulous ride. And I've been involved in a number of pretty spectacular companies that have really changed some things. And this is certainly the most enjoyable ride I've ever had. It is a lot of fun.
Well, Laurence, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. And great. It's very refreshing to hear CEOs talk about the passion they have for what they're doing and the different directions that they're going to go. And it's going to be very interesting for me and the staff to watch you over the course of next year to see how far you take it. And I wish you all the best of luck on your launch. And again, thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you very much, and it would be great if you'd like to invite me back, say first week of January or something. We'll see how long we do this seasonal time.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thanks very much, guys.
All right. Okay. Have a good
Bye.
evening.
You too.
Well, that was Mr. Laurence Briggs, the President and CEO of Republic of Texas Brand Inc., stock ticker LJWY.